Hello and welcome to KubeKanvas. In this video, I would like to show you some of very nice and cool features of the KubeKanvas editor, which are really helpful for, especially for developers who are deploying their applications to Kubernetes. So let's start with a very simple example in which, let's say we have a front-end application, a back-end, and a database. Usually we create separate deployments for all of them. So let's say I have one deployment for the front end, and I will call it front end simply. And I would also like to configure the selector. So one replica is enough. This is my front end. And now for the backend, I have another deployment. Let's call it backend. And again, I will set the selector as well. For now, I'm not configuring image and other things, but yeah, replica, let's say we have two replicas image because, we don't really have have an image right now. So let's keep it like this. And then the backend stores data in the database. So let's use a stateful set. So this is, let's say I'm using MySQL. So the name is MySQL and the stateful set selector is also MySQL and image name is MySQL. So this is my typical setup. Now to expose the front end and back end, we can either use an ingress or we can use HTTP route depending upon what do we have in the cluster. Let's say we have ingress. So this is called my ingress, simple name, and ingress class name is by default correct. So now you can imagine that to be able from ingress to reach the front end and back end, we need to expose them using services. So here in KubeKanvas editor, we can simply create a connection from ingress to the front end and done. All your configuration inside the ingress is done. Right now it is, creating a path. I don't like this path. I want it at slash. You can see it slash 8080, it reaches the front end service. Now, let's say my backend is running on 8090, not 8080. So I'll change the port and I'll simply create another connection like this. And again, all the configuration are automatically done. I don't want this path. In fact, this path is slash API. Now you can see that from ingress, user can reach my backend. The YAML that you typically write using, some sort of editor, you don't need to do that. It is all done, all configuration done. And now MySQL should be reachable only by the backend. And of course it needs to be exposed. So again, I will create a connection like this, and it works out of the box. Now I realized, okay, this port number is incorrect. I would like to change it to 1337. Now I can visually see that my service cannot reach this stateful set. I informed the editor about my intention that this backend should connect to MySQL, and it exposed the service. This server was supposed to expose MySQL, but now this connection is not possible. So if I change it to 1337, now all good, and I would like to change this port as well, service port as well, to 1337. So this is how ID is helping me. Number one, creating automatic settings. Number two, validating if you make some changes. Another cool example is when I use a config map. So I want some configuration for the backend. For example, I don't know, it's, let's say, environment config. I call it environment config, and I would like to add one key, and the value is production. So, and I want this configuration for the backend deployment. I just create a connection and it simply configures it. If we look at the YAML, you see environment from is configured using this config map. And now if let's say I need a secret, and the secret is, for example, we need a username and a password for MySQL. So let's say its user is root, and then we have password, and it's a simple password, right? And I need this configuration for MySQL and backend. Before that, I'll just rename it. I can rename later as well. That's not a problem. But let's say we call it database secret. And now I connect it to MySQL and also to the backend. So you can see that now the secret is configured here and also on the backend. I can also verify it in the YAML structure. I can move it if I don't like the way how my diagram is looking like. I can move it, not problem. I typically like to set up my namespace like this. From left you enter into the namespace and then services layer. Next is the deployments layer, next again service layer, and then vertically again a deployment layer, and it can go on like this. Another cool feature is if for example, for the deployment names, you cannot use a special character. I didn't know. I use some special characters. You can see that there is some problem with this deployment. I can expand it here. I can see, okay, name is not correct. And again, metadata slash name must be a valid DNS subdomain. And I just, fix that and it worked. So, and there are multiple other types of validation everywhere that you can try, and you can see that it informs you about the errors. So they are sort of saving a lot of my time. Imagine, if you have to create this type of setup, usually it takes a couple of days to reach this, point where you have everything set up. And the next magic is deployment. I'll create a separate video for that. I can simply click on create release and I can simply deploy, right while remaining inside my browser. I'll create a separate video for that. For now, this is all I wanted to explain. Thank you.